Hey everyone, I'm Rebecca from Vita Wellness, and I'm back here with Justin Batt from the Wellness Centre. He's a practitioner for over 30 years. He's performed over 100,000 treatments on clients, both hands-on and with biofeedback technologies. And we're very excited to be talking about this technology today, which is the Nanofy nanofied curcumin, particularly good for inflammatory responses and helping inflammation in the body. So what I wanted to ask you about is, because of your experience with treating so many people with different manifestations of pain and illness, what do you feel like the application for something like this product is for physical pain?
Yeah, so every week, Beck, do a lot of treatments. I've done tens and tens of thousands of treatments for physical conditions. I developed a treatment called Spinal Balance that combines craniosacral therapy and deep tissue release, which is incredibly popular because it produces results. So I've used that for many years and got fantastic results. I've been looking for the Nanofy product, the very type of product that it is, for a long time, because with my hands-on work, I'm working from the outside in. So whether it be headaches, migraines, lower back pain, sciatica, they're the main types of conditions that I treat. You've got a structural imbalance and you've got a muscular imbalance, but at the end of the day, they're creating inflammation in the body. And with my hands-on work, we correct that. But I'm working from the outside in. So I'm working on the structure and I'm working on the muscular system. And that's the effectiveness of the treatment, because we do both. So with that though, from the outside in, I'm able to fix these things and get great results. But there's a major area missing, and this is if people are internally creating inflammation.
Yeah.
So through this internal creation of inflammation, we're bringing them back into balance, and that internal inflammation is working against that and starting to bring them out of balance. So when we can combine the hands-on therapy that I do, but we start to target that internal inflammation with Nanofy, then that's a total game changer. And where it's also great is people that haven't got access to a high quality practitioner that does hands-on work, even if you didn't have that done, if you actually start to remove that internal inflammation, you're going to see dramatic change in conditions like headaches, migraines, back pain, sciatica, because they are inflammatory conditions. Mm-hmm. So start to target that and start to remove that inflammation from the inside out. The other thing that inflammation does, interestingly, is when we work with the muscular system, we get a lot of creation of what's called fibrous muscle tissue, which where the muscle tissue over time, and particularly as we age, or if you've got a job where you stress your body quite a bit, your body forms what we call fibrous muscle tissue, which is like hard muscle tissue. But the greater levels of inflammation you have, the more of this fibrous tissue that you actually form. And this becomes a real problem as you get older. So one thing that the Nanofy is great for is starting to clear the inflammation, which allows that fibrous tissue to soften and break up. So with that, the key with the Nanofy is if you do have any type of physical condition, and I'd say the main ones are back pain, hip pain, sciatica, frozen shoulder, headaches, migraines, these types of issues, get onto your Nanofy. I use on most clients, I will start with like 10 drops once a day. But then if someone's got high levels of inflammation, we look at like maybe 10 drops twice a day. And again, we want to start to clear the inflammatory pattern. And as it lowers and as you're clearing it, you can then change your dosage appropriately, because the less inflammation there is, the less amount of drops you will need.
Did you say there's also people are dealing with chronic inflammatory conditions, but there's also acute inflammation, which is the result of just sort of daily activity?
Yeah.
And
so that's one where someone will come in and they've been shoveling, digging holes, and they've ripped their back out of alignment, and they're in acute pain. And where it's great then is you can look at a higher dose for a short amount of time, because your inflammation may have gone from a 2 out of 10 straight to a 9.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people in a chronic condition might be sitting at a 7 continuously.
And it's very effective at fighting inflammation, blocking those inflammatory pathways, isn't it? And so you're really saying if people are having external treatments for things, physical treatments, taking a product internally that's fighting the inflammation from the inside is going to get them better, more effective treatment, longer lasting results as well?
That's spot on. So what's going to happen is I'll be out of a job because, but what I mean by that is people that I may see once a month, and I've got a lot of people that I do because they do physical jobs. So they really work their body hard. I might need to see them once every 6 or 8 weeks because they may still through that have some misalignment going on and some muscle locking. But what they won't have is that chronic inflammatory internal producing response all the time. So we're going to take that out of the equation. So it's going to mean that they're going to need less treatment. Just as importantly, when I treat them, whenever I'm treating someone, the less inflammation they've got, the better result on that day we're going to get. Mm-hmm. So because I'm not working with the inflammation as well. So say I want to free up muscle tissue, it's not all hard and inflamed. It's quite pliable, which means you can get in much more deeply and more effectively and get a much better result. When you do a structural correction, the less inflammation there is, the better it's going to hold because the body's not working against itself. So again, like I said earlier too, if you can't access a good hands-on practitioner, you're still going to do really well by just clearing the inflammation from your system. Because remember, this is the thing you got to remember, inflammation equals pain. So the more inflammation, the more pain, the less inflammation, the less pain. So a lot of people really haven't made that proper connection. Pain is just inflammation. So what do you do if you want to get rid of pain? You get rid of inflammation.
Incredible. We'll do another talk on inflammation and pain, I think, just to really cover what that's about. But thank you so much for your opinion and your thoughts on Nanofy.
Great. Thanks, Beck.